Hi, my name is Ben. I'm a third year RA here at Lambeth, and I'm here to introduce you all to the spaces that we have here.
Hi guys, my name is Kaya. I'm a second year Lambeth resident, and I'm going to show you all around.
All these big apartment buildings and everything. So it's a very vast space. It's just off of Emmet, so it's really close to Central Grounds, the Rotunda.
So with Lambeth Commons behind us, we have the amphitheater back here, which is how I always walk to class. It's really pretty. We'll get there later. And we also have all of our trash and recycling pickup on this side of the Commons, which is super easily accessible.
So the Commons is mostly host to study rooms, but there's also our laundry facilities, and we have our own mailroom here. So it's very convenient for Lambeth because if you live in Lambeth, you're right next to the mailroom.
Alright, so this is Lambeth Commons. Right here we have our mailroom. Just like first year housing, all of our on-grounds mail comes straight here when you send it to your apartment, and they have pretty consistent hours throughout the week.
You can just take a short walk over and pick up your mail, so that's a really big perk. Couches and benches all over the place here. There's vending as well, and we have a laundry area. Some of the most laundry machines on grounds. It's probably one of the best laundry facilities that you can ask for.
I've never had an issue getting a washer or dryer in here. We got a whole wall of dryers and a whole ton of washers.
You're never going to have a situation where you have to look for a machine. There's always a machine because we have so many. So.
Lambeth Commons has two different floors, essentially like have different lounge spaces and study rooms. So we have like bigger lounge rooms like this, kind of winds around the whole building. It's a big space.
As you can see, there's plenty of chairs, desks everywhere. This is a really good spot if you're coming here to look for a place to study, because the library might be a little bit farther of a walk away. That's okay. That's why we have this space.
We also have individual study rooms, like this one. There's also more study spaces up here.
Commons has 2 floors, just packed full of study spaces.
Bigger spaces where I've had like group meetings before, and also just hung out with friends.
There's plenty of desks. It's always quiet in here too, so lots of good study TVs, really anything you want, so it's pretty awesome.
So the upstairs individual study rooms are actually some of my favorite just because of how the light hits them. I'm a big fan of natural light when I'm working. So these ones have lots of light, bigger tables, chance to kind of like have multiple people in the room, but also have a really quiet study space when you need it. There's also a communal kitchen area, just has microwave, fridge, anything that you might not have in your apartment, because the apartments don't come with microwaves. So. There's also another media area, multiple places that different groups of people can kind of like come together, watch sports games or movies at night.
The further in you get, the more quiet it gets as well. Lambeth also has an extensive patio that extends into the Lambeth Field, so it's really big, really pleasant. So the Lambeth Field, usually it's all the time, intramural soccer games, things like that. You can see it's just a vast, really well maintained. So this field is behind some of the buildings actually, so if you're positioned in one of these apartments here, you can actually get a really good view. We have multiple options for room styles. There's doubles as well as singles. Really nice setup in my opinion, probably one of the best on grounds. One of the biggest perks about Lambeth is actually the parking. If you live at Lambeth, you get priority for an S2 parking pass. It's definitely the most car-friendly place on grounds to live.
What do you say we check out the apartment? Just like first year housing, we have our regular key door entrance and then we come in. I'm in a 4-person apartment, which is 2 people to each bedroom. We have our nice living room area.
There's a common area as well as a full kitchen.
We're kind of organized to have our dining room table involved. It has allowed us to do a lot of hosting here, which has been really, really fun. And then on the other side, just next to our door, we have our kitchen area. Obviously, Lambeth comes with all of the appliances, fridge, stove, everything. And my favorite part about the 4-person apartment is this lovely extra counter, which has allowed us to have all of our extra appliances that make cooking for ourselves for the first time in our life so much easier. So 10 out of 10 for this.
Yeah, plenty of cabinetry as well, and drawers for storing anything that you want. Dishes, silverware, anything that you want. Right? You can cook at home. It's perfectly viable here in Lambeth, which is a luxury for a lot of college students.
So back through this hallway, we have our bathrooms. The 4-person suite has a full bathroom as well as a half bathroom. We have our full bathroom. It's pretty spacious and, you know, full standing shower, which has been really nice and super easy to clean compared to a bathtub.
You're gonna have 2 bathrooms. If you're in a 4-person Lambeth apartment, You'll have one shower. If you're in triple singles or triple doubles, you'll have 2 showers. Regardless, you have at least 1 full bath and 1 half bath.
Also, another secret about Lambeth is that these are medicine cabinets, which I had to have an upperclassman tell me, greatest hidden storage secret here. Then on this side, we have just a hall closet. Probably don't want to look in there, but it's good storage for the group. And then also just one more general bathroom over here.
This is an example of one of the half bath. So you can see there's no shower, but it has everything else as well as plenty of storage space for whatever you need. It's really convenient because you get your own bathroom. This is a good example of what a single room would look like at Lambeth. So it's actually very big by single room standards. It's not as big as what you would get in a first year dorm, except there's only one person if you have the single option. So you get a full size bed, your desk, drawers, wardrobe, everything. As you can see, the wardrobe, it's pretty much like, it'll depend room to room, but for mine it's just a coat rack, as well as drawers beneath, and so you have the storage space above as well. It's actually really spacious and it's really nice. You have your own AC unit in every single room, which is also super nice, so you can control the temperature of your room.
Alright, so in through here is my bedroom. I obviously share with another roommate for the 4-person suite. Comes with all the standard furniture. We've got our desk, 3-drawer dresser, and then also bed and wardrobe. The wardrobe, unlike my first year one at least, is only half-length hanging space, so that is kind of nice to note, but has a really nice shelf in here that's been handy. Also has 2 full-size drawers at the bottom. The bed, this year at least, because I don't have it fully lofted up like I did in first year, I'm able to fit my dresser under here, but a surprising amount of stuff fits behind it as well. So we've got suitcases, extra boxes, and things like that I managed to squeeze in here and still keep the central area open. One more really exciting thing I found out when I moved to Lambeth was that we could finally control our own AC. So we've got this handy unit over here which lets us control exactly what temperature we want to sleep at. We've definitely been able to make this space cozy and make the most of it.
Definitely the commons that we have. It's host to the mailroom for the area. There's also plenty of study spaces and laundry is just right there.
I'm in the A school, so it's right next door. So many A school kids at Lambeth. We've definitely got a good community built around being here and commuting back and forth.
You see everyone as they're walking around. You're gonna know plenty of people who live in Lambeth as well. It's just a really nice place to be.
Having a kitchen and being able to make my own schedule and meals and plan around that has been amazing.
The location is super convenient because you're right next to Central Grounds. It's a short walk away, especially from Rugby Road, Mad Bulls.
It's also so close to the people who live off grounds. All my friends who live on 14th and Wurtland is right there. It's right next to the corner. Super easy to shoot over to 1515 or any of those other spots. It's also really close to so many shopping amenities at barracks and everything. We can walk there on the weekends.
It's definitely the most convenient location if you want to have a car on grounds because we have what I think is the biggest parking lot.
Having a parking lot here was really important for me, I'm not gonna lie.
Everyone can get a parking pass here. It's just a really good spot for that as well if you're someone who drives often.
I'm also a big sports person, so being this close to basketball this season is going to be so amazing. I cannot wait.
I think the Lambeth community is really unified just because we constantly see each other.
If I'm being really honest, Lambeth is a quiet community. I can come back and work and have my slow Sundays and do my own thing. Kind of a sanctuary environment. There's definitely not too much noise. You're not really in the hustle and bustle of being on the corner or being right on central grounds.
You walk outside and you see people that you know. And so it makes it really easy because you hang out with a ton of friends.
Having the apartment space definitely helps a lot with that and being able to host within your own area.
Once I moved here, 8 of my friends are just here. And it's oh, now we can just hang out because we basically live in the same place.
It's nice to be able to be neighbors with your classmates.
There's a really easy sense of community. It's really easy to get from one place to another because everyone's really close to each other.
In terms of the community and the events that we have so many opportunities because it is, I think, the largest housing area on grounds.
We have Lambeth Field out there. That's a really big space where a lot of events are hosted, especially for second years of classmen in general.
We have so many people come to us, and this is such a good meeting place to have people and ambassadors come and talk.
It's kind of like the gathering hub for upperclassmen housing, so I think it's really central to everything culturally.
Academic related things and also general Lambeth community events that are happening in the Commons very consistently.
It's hard to feel left out that way.
I would say my favorite spot is probably exactly where we're sitting. It's under the shade of this nice big tree, which I'm sure y'all will see at some point when you inevitably come live at Lambeth. And also just the amphitheater and being able to like walk here after class. I'll just kind of take a seat in the amphitheater on the way back home. Things like that. It's just a nice space to kind of come together and also sit down in solitude.
There's this really tucked away room in the top of the Commons. It's like blocked off. You literally close the door and like you know nothing else is there. It's a really good kind of like isolation chamber for studying. There's a lot of spaces like that in Lambeth Commons actually. There's just one in particular that I like to frequent.
Generally, the main thing that has shaped my experience is the proximity to my classes. Definitely like a better separation of work and like home life. I definitely have been able to balance those two a lot better.
The community, because there's so many people, you're going to know plenty of friends, and you're going to make plenty of friends by living here. It's a very desirable area, right? Even for residents in general, just because there's, you know, it's like the upperclassmen hub. Everyone is here.
Really ties me to my peers and providing like that connection. It's just kind of like given space to breathe, but also interact with others and build that community.
Now I'm here at Lambeth, and I know 8 people, like automatically, just right there, and I'm meeting plenty more, and that's definitely shaping my experience.
I really am comfortable in this space. All the people that I've come to like live with and know are all kind of welcoming and comfortable in our space. I'm a big supporter of living on grounds with school and work and clubs and extracurriculars, all of these things. Just having to choose was such a big stressor for me, at least.
Living off grounds can be a gamble sometimes.
It just sounds like a whole extra stressor that I personally didn't want to take on, and I think is easily eliminated with on-grounds housing.
One of the biggest factors to consider is that when you are on university housing, everything is just right there. It's very close to everything. University is your landlord. Facilities even has an office in Lambeth, so it's really easy to get what you need really quickly.
Being and staying on grounds really continues to connect you to the UVA community. That's definitely been amazing about living on grounds.
And university housing is a really good way to have a very secure housing situation while you're in college.
Being here has definitely taught me a lot about myself and what it's like to live with others, and I've also just learned more and grown in my friendships.
It's a very secure place. It's a very safe place. It's a good place to engage yourself as a student, engage yourself as an academic leader. On-grounds housing is a really good choice.